So I think we'll start with Gotu Kola since you mentioned it, Karis. And this I actually, just a few minutes ago, I went and picked off my Gotu Kola plant because Gotu Kola is so easy to grow, and I really would encourage all of you to grow it. It likes the tropics. It actually likes warm weather to grow in, but it grows like a really nice house plant. So I bring my pots in during the winter, and all during the winter you can harvest your fresh leaves and put them in salads. That's traditionally the way that people used them. Gotu Kola is native to the Sinhalese mountains in India, and it has a long, like ancient tradition, like most of these plants do, of being used to enhance vitality and increase brain function. And in fact, tradition, it says that in the villages where this plant has been known to grow for hundreds of years, it's a major food source. The native people would go out and they pick a few leaves every day and put it in their salads. And they would credit this little, humble, gorgeous plant for the reason that they had no senility, no dementia, and also some of these villages are the villages that are actually studied for people who live to be very long, but with no memory loss whatsoever. And as we know in our country and in many modern cultures, dementia and brain problems are really major issues and something that all of us who are a little older worry about. So rather than worrying about it, I grow this plant and I'm eating it every day. It's quite tasty. It has a very interesting kind of mixture of flavors in it. It's very flavorful. There has been a lot of research on this plant because it's used not only in India, but also in other parts of the world. And it's been recognized for ages as being a really powerful healing plant. It's specifically considered like a brain tonic, a brain food. And but it also is used for circulation in the whole body. It has a long list of uses that it's very well known for. But one of the things that I had pointed out to Karis about this particular plant is that in the wild, where elephants are still allowed to graze, it's their favorite food. Like they will always search for the wild Gotu Kola because it grows wild. And of course, elephants they're notorious for having these long memories. They don't forget anything. So it may or may not be because they eat a lot of Gotu Kola, but that's enough to convince me to try it. As I started to say, there has been a lot of research and studies. So for those of you who are with us who really love that modern research, which I love it, I like to keep up with it. I think it's so fabulous that we have so much modern research that confirms all the empirical and folkloric traditions. So I love to read it and keep up with it, but I can never remember the stories of modern science as well as I can, the things about elephants and traditional folk uses and stuff. So I can remember really well about the old people going out and gathering the Gotu Kola for their salad. So I'd like to just say about this plant is that it is considered a food herb. It has no counterindications that I am aware of. It would be very rare to have a counterindication. You don't have to use a lot of it. But it does have to be used on a regular basis. So it's not like you take it and the next day your memory is cleared. You know, I usually say with these herbs, at least 2 to 3 weeks of fairly consistent use. With Gotu Kola, as I was mentioning, it's not like they make salads of it. It's usually a few leaves a day. So say 3 or 4 leaves a day. It's very water soluble, so it breaks down well in water. So taking it as a tea is great. And it breaks down, it tinctures really well in just a moderately high alcoholic tincture. Like I usually use just a 40 or 50% alcohol at most. And I find that makes a really, really good tincture. So I just want to encourage all the listeners to grow your Gotu Kola. In the summertime, you can grow it outside. If you live in a warm area where it's warm year round, it grows, as you can see, it's like a vine. The little creeper has these beautiful little leaves. And then for us,
up a little.
Yeah, for those of us, those of us who live in cold weather climates, you bring your pots in. And if you just keep them in a nice sunny window and keep them well watered, you'll have fresh Gotu Kola all winter long.
I've never grown it. And here we are on a farm and so I'm going to grow it this season. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is one thing I need to add about it is you do not want to buy commercial grade Gotu Kola because it's grown in gutters in India. That's what's sold. Oftentimes when you buy it commercially, it just has dirt clods in it. I would say that you always want to get your Gotu Kola from organic growers or grow it yourself. So you should absolutely be growing it on your farm and selling it at the farmer's market.
Yeah. Can you grow it? Is it peppery? Is that right? Is it a little
Well,
peppery?
I don't think of it as, it has a very strong flavor for a small plant. I don't really think of it as peppery, but it's kind of a mixture of sweet and pungent. It has a lot of flavors in it, but it's pleasant and it mixes really well in salads. And then often also traditionally it was prepared in coconut oil. So you're talking about coconut oil being so great for the brain. So that's one of the ways that that I use it is I steep fresh Gotu Kola in the coconut oil for several days until the coconut oil is actually deep green or a light green. And then you just use that in your cooking like you would any time you'd use coconut oil. You could use it to cook your popcorn or, bake your cookies or, just use on your delicious rice and stuff. So that's another way to incorporate it as a food is just putting it in your coconut oil. In Ayurvedic medicine, that's often called Brahmi. Sometimes people consider bacopa to be Brahmi, but the coconut oil and the Gotu Kola is what I call the Brahmi. Also excellent for your hair. And on and on and on.
Yeah, it is so good for connective tissue too. So I use it a lot for people who have connective tissue disorder, autoimmune disease, lupus, who are also dealing with brain fog and brain issues. Yes. I love Gotu Kola for that. And it's also such an important part of a traumatic brain injury protocol.
Right.
Really helpful for recovery from that. So along with some of the other plants we're going to talk about tonight. So did we miss anything else?
No, I just want to eat it.
Okay, you can chew on that.